Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
The SEC has filed its response to Ripple's motion to strike the Mets supplemental expert report. And funny enough, a lawyer by the name of James Fillen, who also usually shares these things with us, actually says, "What a poorly written response. It's repetitive, which is a sign of a weak argument. It wrongly accuses Ripple of failing to follow proper procedure when the failure was the SEC's, and almost comically offers to consent to reopening a deadline the SEC themselves blew." So for all of you that have kind of been out and away for a little bit, the update came March 11th, the motion to strike itself. Ripple and the individual defendants move to strike an impermissible late-filed SEC supplemental expert rebuttal report written by Dr. Albert Mertz. The SEC, and you know what guys, I'm gonna try do an update on my computer tonight, because if that doesn't make this lag a little bit better, I'm just gonna buy a new one tomorrow. One of my crypto friends also said, "Why do you have an old laptop?" The laptop is like 2 years old. It's a MacBook Pro. It cost me like $3,000. Should be able to last for a little bit now. Alright, but if you're wondering how it works, Jeremy Hogan said it right here. Here's how to analyze an expert report. First, you read the plaintiff's expert report. You fail because it's really freaking difficult. Then, you try to read the defendant's expert report, and you fail yet again. Then, you realize you don't actually understand whatever the frick is posted here. If you're the defendant, however, that is good, because the plaintiff, again, defendant being Ripple, plaintiff being SEC, has the burden of proving things. Now, this is what he is. There's a middle tweet. Ripple has attacked my favorite issue in the case, whether anything Ripple does as a business substantially affects the price of XRP. Ripple's expert did such a good job at tearing up the SEC's expert that the SEC expert tried to slip in a belated amendment to his report. This is what has been going on behind the scenes the last 3 months. What we are seeing here are just 2 of the battling experts, and apparently there are 16. Always remember that if the expert battles to a tie, the defendants win every single time, and I don't mean to downplay the importance of these reports. They are likely the only evidence of one of the prongs of the Howey test, the expectation of profits from the efforts of others' part, and so they are vital to the case. And if you haven't pressed that like button yet, guys, make sure you press it now for all the effort that we put into every single one of these videos. And that was it. First, this is again why they put this, and they said, let's do a step back. This is why the SEC is saying that Ripple's motion should be denied. First, because the motion seeks to preclude Dr. Metz from offering certain expert opinions on this matter. It should be decided by the judge along with other Daubert motions filed by the parties. It really says Daubert. The motion disregards that procedure. Second, the defendant's motion is an attempt to obtain an unfair advantage in this complex litigation where expert testimony will be critical to their trial of the fact. Defendants want 2 of the rebuttal experts to be able to criticize Dr. Metz's methodology for not including a certain empirical economic analysis, which defendants Ripple's rebuttal experts did not conduct themselves, while preventing Dr. Metz from offering testimony that when he did conduct that analysis as laid out in the supplemental report, it supported his overall opinion, precluding Dr. Metz from offering his opinion contained in his supplemental report would confer an unwarranted advantage on the defendants in this litigation. And third, striking Dr. Met's supplemental report is not an appropriate sanction under this specific part, and defendants can show no genuine prejudice, which is, I think, almost everything that he tried to claim. Defendants can see that Dr. Met's supplemental report addressed certain criticisms raised by Ripple's rebuttal experts. In addition, there is currently no deadline for dispositive motions or a trial date, and 2 motions pertaining to fact discovery remain pending. Defendants cannot show they will suffer any genuine prejudice if expert discovery were to be extended for the limited purpose of their exploring Dr. Metz's supplemental opinions at a continued deposition or rebutting them with defendants' own supplemental reports, measures to which the SEC already has consented. Defendants should not be allowed to ignore Judge Torres' rules governing motions to exclude expert testimony, precluding Dr. Metz from testifying about his statistical analysis of the economic significance of Ripple's news announcements would confer an unwarranted advantage on the defendants. Actually, this is a fun little thing. I've covered this before. Here it says, Dr. Metz conducted an event study that identified more than 500 separate Ripple announcements or news announcements by Ripple, or news items about Ripple linked to Ripple's website, and employed a scientifically accepted statistical analysis to examine whether the price of XRP increased in response to several categories of positive news about Ripple or XRP. Dr. Metz found that the price of XRP rose significantly in response to 8 key milestone events, 5 listings of XRP on new trading platforms, 77 Ripple customer and product developments, and 7 commercialization initiatives. Dr. Metz also identified 105 days in which positive Ripple news events were correlated with significant abnormal positive XRP price returns that could not be explained by random chance. Finally, Dr. Metz examined the relationship between XRP prices and the prices of Bitcoin and Ether in order to determine whether price movements of XRP over time follow the prices of those other tokens. And Metz concluded that between 2014 and 2020, the price movements of those 2 tokens, Bitcoin and ETH, were correlated with only 40% of XRP's price movements. In order to respond to the initial Metz report, Ripple retained 2 expert witnesses. And again, I don't want to kind of go too far into this right now, but this is like a real slippery slope, right? As you guys can most likely already imagine here, both experts from Ripple's side questioned Dr. Metz's methodology and asserted, among other things, that Dr. Metz's analysis was lacking because it did not demonstrate that XP holders benefited financially from Ripple's news announcements. More specifically, Professor Fischel opined that Dr. Metz failed to show that XP holders profit solely or primarily from the efforts of Ripple, and Dr. Marais similarly claimed that the Metz event study cannot prove a causal relationship between Ripple's actions and XP price movements. So I actually would mostly agree with Ripple's side, partially not. The one thing that this report, and I've kind of looked through it all, does not explain is that Ripple is the sole effect, right? He's just saying now XRP's price is only for 40% correlated to Bitcoin and Ether. Well, that's a whole bunch, right? If you remember, let's say Ripple were to do nothing, then XRP would most likely just follow along Bitcoin and Ether completely. So that would mean a very high correlation. But the fact that it's still 40% while Ripple's doing all of this, that kind of proves that Ripple, again, is kind of proven against himself that Ripple is not the only factor behind the price. Plus, of course, the fact that if an XRP token were to be listed on an exchange, first of all, I'm not really sure how that is just Ripple. Even if they make the announcement, it's not necessarily Ripple themselves who do that. But I can kind of understand how the price would pump because that's in the interest of the same thing would happen to ETH. It's too big kind of, but in theory the same thing would happen, and the same thing would happen to almost anything. In the same sense, it's kind of stupid in the sense of, hey, why would, if for example oranges now all of a sudden were to be sold in way more places and you'd have a lot more easy access to it, there's a very high probability that it's going to be sold a lot more, or the price, theoretically speaking, might shift up a little bit because there's a lot more demand now. All right, maybe there's a lot more supply, but you guys get my drift with that. It's just saying, it's just kind of stupid in my own opinion. But let's stick to the facts, right? Let's keep this for what it is, and let's focus right now a little bit on the prices, funny enough, because at the end of the day, guys, I've explained a dozen times why I think Ripple will just win. I think it's going to be crazy for the XRP price in a couple of months. I'm honestly expecting at least a 10x for the XRP price in a couple of months if this finishes, which I think it will. But let's just wait it out, all right? There's a lot of intermediary BS parts, and this is one of them. But at the end of the day, I think the judge will see through them and just kind of strike it down, so to speak, which I think would be right. In terms of Bitcoin, I posted an update in my Telegram. I want you guys to join it though. There's a link down below, and it is officially called DustDBC Alerts. This is completely free. There's no BS in here. This is just price updates, news, or sometimes live streams that I post in there. I might start posting my videos with like a link in there too. But this is just what it looks like, you know. I try to post as many times as possible whenever there's something going on, and right now it's just primarily charts because, well, I'm doing a lot more than before. So I'm thinking, well, if I can help people out by sharing this, hopefully, let me share that, you know. So check out the link down below if you want a little bit more on price analysis or whatever is going on, technical analysis. As right now, for example, we're facing some critical resistance for Bitcoin. I've also shared it partially over on Twitter. And if we overcome this hurdle, it could be a very big push for basically everything. And I already described to you guys before as well how altcoins right now are in a massively good position. Let me show you guys the proper chart though. Yeah, so so I have a couple of different charts open. We have two on Bitcoin. You can see this one, these two on Bitcoin right now, and this one on XRP. On the XRP tab, which by the way, this is what I pointed out as well, right? That XP is gonna move towards the upside. Let's see how XP is moving right now. Ooh, it's not there just quite yet. This is actually a 1 hour chart, but we are already moving quite nicely. The most logical side would be upside. Let's quickly cover the altcoins though. Let's take a look at this. I think this is the right chart for it. Let's wait it out. There we go. So let's kind of zoom out a little bit. Let's go to a daily time frame. I've basically shown to you guys over on Telegram and over on Twitter that altcoins have broken out for the first time in a couple of months. You can actually kind of relate this line a little bit backwards, and you can see that all the way from I think like October or something like that. Again, you can kind of extend this line, as you guys probably understand. You can draw this a little bit more like this, and you can see, oh my days, right? All the way from about like October or November, it's been a decline for altcoins, and this is the first time in such a long while, or I guess maybe like the second time in such a long while that we've actually broken through and actually had some confirmation. This is looking really huge for altcoins. Just wanted you guys to understand that, and that's why I'm going a little bit further into altcoins in this little update. First of all, Algorand is looking amazing right now. 200 institutional clients. That is insane. So what we're talking about here is Insti Match Global AG, and you can see one of the key partners of that is Algorand, and we got a couple of other key players in there, but Algorand is one of the key partners in there, and apparently they currently have 200 institutional clients across 26 jurisdictions. That is huge for Algorand. Then I want you guys to understand that all these videos are my opinion and my research. At the end of the day, I want you guys all to do your own due diligence. Research for yourself, look at the articles I've looked up and kind of verify whether everything is correct. Because for example, a tweet like this, it could be faked and I can't know, right? It could be. So just back it up for yourself. I'm covering whatever I'm finding and what I think is real, but it doesn't have to be, nor Do I necessarily know what's best for you? I just do what's best in my own interest, and I kind of try it for your guys' best interest too, but maybe for some people I'll mess up, so be careful. Now, real value of $1 decreases by 86% in the last 50 years. I've described to you guys before how I honestly believe that holding the US dollar or euro is one of the stupidest things to do, but I'm a hypocrite because I have some. First of all, I hold USDT, which is backed by US dollars, and so it's kind of like a one-to-one, and I hold euros. Why? Well, it's partially for taxes. For tax purposes, I have euros because I think that's just the only way I can kind of get this done, so I have to have them. And the US dollar, I have, again, USDT. I don't have actual US dollars. I have to stake. And so the only reason I'm hypocritical is because the best thing I could possibly do is to put it into either crypto or some stable coin, like a euro stable coin, stake it in DeFi, and then bring it out whenever I have to pay my tax, because then it's a couple percent less because I've gotten that DeFi gains. I'm not really doing that though. But the reason I'm not a hypocrite is because for the majority of my USDT or UST or USDC, I am putting it to work, getting some percentage every single day, actually, which is pretty huge. And that's something I need to make more videos about. But that's some stuff I'm going to be sharing more over on TikTok. I already have one video planned, which is basically how you can get 20% a year, one of the most safest protocols in crypto. 20% a year on your stablecoin. Make sure you follow my TikTok, guys. It's going to be interesting. So yeah, moving on. There was an article. Let's quickly see this one. Yeah. U.S. lawmakers says Bitcoin is aligned with American values, will strengthen the dollar. This is a fun little kind of concept. Bitcoin is aligned with American values and will strengthen the dollar. I'm not exactly sure how he came to that conclusion because, well, I'm not really sure how it would. Then again, I guess this once more shows that at the end of the day, there will always be different opinions on crypto. And at the end of the day, I don't really care either. If it strengthens or weakens the dollar, we all know that the dollar is a decreasing asset over time. $1 depreciated 86% in the last 50 years. It will keep doing so, though, logically speaking. And so even if I might strengthen it, it's going to be relative because the inflation will keep up. And right now with the massive inflation that we have, most likely the value is just going to drop so significantly that you might keep stating like, oh, but the Bitcoin will do this. At that time, it will be too late if you ask me. So I'm not really a big fan of US dollars. Scratch that. I'm not really a big fan of just keeping US dollars in your bank account. If you're using US dollars to buy your grocery with, fine. If you're using it to pay your taxes, to buy properties with, if you're using it to invest, all good. But just keeping it in your bank account, I think, is a very big waste. Alright, Plan B is a Bitcoin at 100,000 has been pushed back by around 2 years. Well, guys, I had one of my very big VC friends, venture capital fund friends, who's got, hundreds of millions of dollars. He basically told me it will take 2 years before Bitcoin is going to really take off because of halving cycles. And when we take a look at Plan B, he says Bitcoin is 60% below stock to flow model value. Some think stock to flow is dead. Others know we have 2 more years to reach the $100,000 average. Your choice. I kind of see it from the perspective of Bitcoin indeed has this exponential line. It'll keep going up. And with Bitcoin, of course, all the altcoins as well. If it takes a little bit extra time to get to that specific point, it's all good. It's annoying maybe, but it's all good. And specifically because I'm a very big XRP fan, I think that crypto will pop off in 2022 anyway. So I don't mind Bitcoin taking a little bit of time, as I now have more time to accumulate.
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.